All right, let's talk trading. Everyone loves talking about the perfect entry, right? But you know what really separates the pros from the amateurs? It's knowing when to get out. See, protecting your capital. That's your number one job. And today, we're going to look at how a surprisingly simple mathematical tool can be your best friend in doing just that.
I mean, let's be real, we all do it. We obsess over finding that perfect entry point. We're staring at charts, hunting for patterns, just waiting for that one little signal that tells us, okay, now's the time to jump in. That's the exciting part, right? That's where the adrenaline kicks in.
But here's the thing, the exit, that's where the money is actually made or lost. If you jump into a trade using a cool tool like Fibonacci, but you have no idea where you're getting out, well, that's not a trading strategy. That's just gambling with a fancy calculator.
And believe me, the stakes are incredibly high. Without a solid exit plan, it's like the source material says, your account will just go up in flames. And what happens next? You end up blaming Fibonacci himself, probably cursing his name in Italian. It's a super frustrating cycle that, honestly, way too many traders get caught in.
Okay, but it absolutely doesn't have to be like that. The cool thing is, those very same Fibonacci levels you're using to get in a trade can give you a really structured, logical way to get out. So we're going to break down two simple but really powerful methods to set your stop loss and keep your account safe. So let's dive into this stop loss dilemma. Why is it so tricky to begin with?
Okay, first up we have method number one. This is probably the most straightforward way to do it. It basically uses the fib levels themselves as a roadmap for your stop.
The logic here is pretty simple. If you trust a certain fib level enough to get into a trade, then the very next level should be your "uh-oh, I was wrong" point. It's your line in the sand. So let's say you go short at the 50% level. Well, your stop loss would go just a little bit past the next level up, the 61.8.
And you can see exactly how this works on this chart right here. The trader saw the 50% level and thought, okay, that's going to act as resistance, I'm going short. Now, if the price blows right past that level and then breaks through the 61.8, well, your whole idea for the trade is basically toast. That's your signal to get out, take the small loss, and live to trade another day.
Simple enough, right? Super clean, super objective. But you know how it goes in trading. If something seems too simple, there's usually a catch.
And here it is. The big problem with this first method is that it's just too rigid. It treats these Fibonacci lines like they're perfect concrete walls. But markets aren't perfect, they're messy. Prices can spike, they can overshoot a level for just a second, just enough to hit your stop, and then bam, they reverse and go exactly in the direction you predicted. I mean, is there anything more frustrating than that? So that pain point brings us right to method number two. This one is designed specifically to deal with that market noise and give your trade some much-needed breathing room.
But first, a quick definition so we're all on the same page. When we talk about a swing high, we just mean the most recent peak in the price. A swing low is the most recent valley or trough. Think of them as natural turning points on the chart that everyone is watching.
Okay, so the logic here is all about respecting the market structure. Think about it. If a market is in an uptrend, what's the one thing that would tell you the trend is broken? Well, if it breaks below the last major low point, the swing low. So that's where you put your stop. Same thing for a downtrend, but in reverse. If it breaks above the last swing high, the downtrend is probably over and you want to be out.
Now check out this chart and see the huge difference. Instead of that super tight stop right next to a fib level like in the first method, this one is placed way up above that recent peak, the swing high. See all that extra space? That's what gives your trade room to breathe and wiggle around without getting stopped out prematurely.
So what's the key advantage here? It's simple. This method gives your trade a much better chance to actually work out and move in your favor. It's built to survive that random market noise. All right, so now we've got two pretty different ways of doing things. Method one is tight, it's precise, it's based purely on the fib levels. Method two is wider, more flexible, and based on the market structure. So this leads to the million-dollar question, right?
Which way is better? Which one should you be using? Well, this table breaks it down really well. You can see the trade-offs. With method one, the next fib method, your stop is tighter. So yeah, you're risking less money on any single trade, but you have a higher chance of getting stopped out by random noise. It's often better for really short-term intraday trading. Now, method two, the swing method, has a wider stop. You're risking a bit more, but you're giving the trade a lot more room to work. That makes it much better for longer-term swing trades.
And that leads us to the real truth of the matter, which is there is no single better way. There's no magic bullet.
The best traders, the professionals, they never rely on just one single thing. So here's what the pros do. They understand that Fibonacci is not a magic system. It's a tool. It's just one tool in a big toolbox. The real skill comes from combining it with other things, like your classic support and resistance levels, trend lines, maybe some candlestick patterns. You have to look at the whole picture and then decide, okay, for this trade in this market, which stop placement makes the most sense?
And that's the key takeaway. The goal here isn't to be right all the time. Nobody is. The real goal is to tilt the odds in your favor just a little bit over the long run. And a smart, well-placed stop loss, that isn't just about playing defense. It's about making sure you have enough capital to stay in the game long enough to win. It might just be the most important part of your entire strategy.